Welcome back to this episode of Control the Chaos Mama, Life and Launch Strategy for ADHD Entrepreneurs and Creative Rebels. Today we are talking about 12 pieces of content from one podcast episode. Now, I happen to believe that all of us ADHDers would greatly benefit from being podcasters. I will actually talk about that in the upcoming episodes. I'm also going to do one on how I record 100% from my phone sometimes. Not all the time, but that might also be the reason why I am inside right now, and you might even be picking up audio from the cicadas that are outside. They are so loud. So apologies for that, but there's pros and cons of both, but sometimes you just have to let yourself have it done. And so in the essence of that, we're calling it done by having this episode on my phone. If you're interested in how to record 100% from your phone, shoot me a DM or go comment over on my Instagram at Control the Chaos Mama, because I would love to know what other things that you guys are interested in, as well as how many of you are exactly what are you wanting to know, like what apps I use or how you can go back and edit or how you can edit none at all or all the things. Now, 12 pieces of content from one podcast episode. I'm going to tell you guys all the ways to show up and to put your content out from the one episode, but know that you have the power to pick and choose which ones you want to use. The beauty of podcasting is you're able to go back. So let's say you're in a busy season, or maybe you didn't plan via your cycle syncing, and so your energy's low and you don't want to do all this. Know that you don't have to do it all, and you can actually go back when you do have that energy, or maybe when you have the clarity, or you could even outsource it. So know that you do not have to do all this. Do not get overwhelmed. Do not go into that ADHD paralysis like we talked about last time. Know that any steps in the right in the direction is going to give you clarity. It honestly doesn't even have to be the right direction, because movement and momentum and action brings clarity. So that little disclaimer aside, 12 pieces of content from one podcast episode. So I recommend that at least one time a month, probably when you're in your ovulation phase, that you are going to be able to go face to camera. What that looks like is you open up your laptop, you pull up Facebook, you also pull up a tab that says Audacity, and you hit record on both. Now this works best if you make a Facebook graphic so that you can invite people to the event, and you're promoting that you're actually going to show up on that Facebook page you created that you never post anything on, okay? So you click record onto both of those and you're able to riff. Now this works also good if you know a lot about the topic that you're going to be talking on, that you maybe have some bullet points, not everything all scripted out, but that you know the topics, you know the point of what you're going to be teaching. And so if you can do this at least once a month, then I think what it does is it shows people your face. It also is giving a chance for those Facebook people to come over to your podcast, and your podcast people to come over to your Facebook. And so it's kind of a win-win in that way. Another thing that you can do is you can make graphics. Now, I use Canva for this, and so you're going to want to go into Canva and you're going to make, I want you to pull, and you can even think of this before you go into the episode, pull a quote that you're going to say, or a quote that someone else says, but definitely quote, cite it, but that really resonates with that episode. This is going to be something great that you can post in stories, but also on IG, just everywhere. And then it also will be kind of that takeaway that is kind of innately there from your training. A next one is a visual graphic. So chances are the things that you talked about are going to have a visual connotation that you can put in. So Canva, again, has all these templates that you can use. You can go to angelmcilhaney.com, check out the blog for this episode, and you'll be able to see the one that I used. You'll also see it on Instagram and all the places. And so for today's podcast is all about repurposing content. So there's like a checklist. And so it has kind of a visual graphic of what I'm saying. People are visual learners. I know that I love seeing visual along with the audio, and I think it's a great opportunity for you to pull from that episode and have it serve and repurpose. Another one is you want to make audio clips or audio graphs. I use Headliner for this. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. I know some people use Wave and different things. So Headliner, you can pop in your RSS feed and then find the little tidbit that you want to put out. I wouldn't make it too long, and I would be strategic about what clip you take, but again, don't overthink it. Some people make these for stories. That's what I do. Some people make them for the IG feed, which is totally good too. Some people also pop it into Pinterest because video does amazing over on Pinterest and the video is already created. So why not do double purpose and then see what's working, right? All right, and then now I want you to, number 7, I think we're actually at 8 now, is to pull out all that content, and you can either put it into a blog via maybe going over your bullet points and your notes and kind of just riffing it, having headlines. And I think that part of it is probably best for SEO. But if you also want to do, or instead, you can transcribe. Now, transcribe is where you go to a website like Temi, Temi, and you just input that and it will transcribe all of your blog. Now, I'm not a huge fan of how this is conversationally, because it's obviously going to be writing down every single word that you said. So I end up my mind, maybe that's perfectionism, I'm also working on it, is that I end up editing it and spending way more time than if I just wrote it. So think of good, better, best with this. Know that in the past, I have even set it up with WordPress to where whatever I put as my show notes turned it out to be my blog. Like it just automatically posted it over there. Good, better, best, whatever you can do to get it done, right? And then what you want to do is go back into Canva and make that pin for Pinterest as well. And this is going to make it to where Pinterest is going to be able to drive traffic to your blog and then thereby to your podcast, to your social channels, just all the places. Now, another thing you can do is you can make a video. I have an episode with Virginia Kerr that is amazing. She is so good at video. She has a video school that I am dying to take, and maybe we can all do it together. But anyway, she's awesome at TikTok and Reels and all the things. She did an episode with me on my show and talked about different things for us to work on, not being afraid of video, and really the 3 components of a good video. So go check that out. But just know that you want to probably do it on a third-party app, like Video Shop is one that she recommends. That way it doesn't have it stuck in there, and you can repurpose that as well. So if you decide to maybe take for instance, the 12 takeaways of how to repurpose content from one podcast episode, maybe I do that video in Video Shop, and then I post it on TikTok. Maybe I post it on Reels. These are all different places that my person could be hanging out. Now, the next thing you could do is also post on YouTube. A lot of times you can set this up with wherever you are publishing your podcast. I know Podbean that I use actually will directly just push it to YouTube for me. So that is another option as well. And then lastly, you can also just record it using Zoom while you are talking so that you can repurpose that episode to use for so many things. Maybe you're going to use it to use for a virtual summit coming up. A lot of virtual summits will have the person submit a pre-recorded training, and that's exactly what a podcast could be. They don't want them too long. They want them pretty concise, with a clear message, and that's exactly what a podcast can be, right? Another thing could be maybe you could repackage it up as a course bonus, or maybe even to turn it into a video format to really connect with your viewer so that you can pop it over into YouTube, and then as an unlisted video, you can send it an email. I hope this was helpful for you. This is 12 ways that you can show up for yourself in all the places by doing just that one thing. I'm all about working smarter, not harder, because, your girl's got a lot of balls hanging around, a lot of balls in the air. And I know that what happens is when I'm juggling too many things, I tend to feel bad at all of them. And so I just wanted to give you a little encouragement and let you know that you're not alone in that. We're all trying to simplify. And I think that one of the things as an ADHD entrepreneur is that we kind of resist that. We want structure, or we do well in structure, but we resist it. We know that we need to simplify, but we always are wanting that new and shiny thing. And so when we do this, I feel like it just keeps adding. And so this gives you a way to where you can make the main thing, doing the podcast, and then all of these other things, when you're wanting something new and shiny, there's plenty of stuff for you to get creative, for you to get face to camera with people, for you to be able to get super, super just zoned in on something new. So, and it could still support the main thing, if that makes sense. So if you found this helpful, or you would like to get that list, go over to Control the Chaos Mama on Instagram or to angelmcilhaney.com, and you can see it all there. Wishing you joy and abundance, Angel.